Hi there, thanks for tuning in. In this episode, we're going to be looking at how to utilize the Waves MS Matrix that comes with the S1 Stereo Imager. We'll be doing this inside a Pro Tools DAW today. This plugin is mainly designed to be used with the Waves Stereo Imager or their shuffler, but it can also be used to split a stereo track, so left or right channels into mid and side information, and that's what this episode will be focusing on today. Now this can be useful for mastering purposes, for those of you who like to do basic mastering at home, for those who just want to give a sense of space or widening a stereo source, for example an acoustic guitar, whilst retaining as much mono compatibility as possible. So in the example I'm going to show you today, I'll be using a drum loop that was recorded using an AUDIF configuration over the drummer's head. So let's go have a listen to that clip now. Okay, so that sounds nice. It has a good stereo image already. So this technique could be useful for layering this stereo track over the close mic tracks. And you could use it to add a greater sense of room or space in a song's chorus section, for example. This works just as well for coincident or space pair configurations too. So for this exercise, what we'll need is our stereo source. We'll need a stereo audio track, 3 mono auxiliary tracks, 1 stereo auxiliary track, the trim tool, and the Waves MS Matrix plugin. So I've gone ahead and I've created those tracks already. Okay, so to start off with, what you'll need to do is select the stereo clips you want to use, drag them down to your available stereo track. Now you can see that Pro Tools adds these together onto a single track. This works in reverse also for those of you who are seeing this for the first time. Alright, so now we have our single stereo track. What we need to do next is to load the Waves MS Matrix plugin into an insert slot. Now what this effectively does is send all the information that's common in both channels to the left side, and information that's different between the channels to the right side. So you hear the difference when I bypass this matrix. Okay, so what we're going to do is send the output of this track to a stereo bus. Now I always like to rename my buses to suit their purpose, so we're going to rename this MS Matrix. Alright, so go to your 3 mono auxiliary tracks, rename the first one mid, we'll rename the second one left, and we'll rename the third right. The fourth one we'll rename MS Sum. Now because the matrix sends the mid information to the left channel, you'll need to set the input for the mid auxiliary to MS Matrix bus left. The other 2 channels will need to set to MS Matrix bus right, because that has the side information. Okay, so right now I want you to group these left and right tracks so that when we raise or lower their volume, they do it together. Now across the top of all 3 tracks, load the trim plugin, and on the right channel, invert the phase. I like to use this plugin because it uses effectively 0 CPU and has no latency issues. Now I only say to put it across all 3, you might like to use a different plugin, and some incur a type of delay. But the main idea here is to invert the phase on the right channel with no delay between all of the 3 channels, and that's just a fail-safe way of ensuring that that happens. Now that we've done that, we're going to set the outputs of all 3 tracks to a new stereo bus, which I'm going to call MS Matrix Sum. Pan the left track to the left, and we'll pan the right track to the right. Now we go to our spare stereo auxiliary track and set its input to the MS Matrix Sum bus. Now make sure the output of this track is set to your main out, or if you want to send it to a group bus, send it there. And that's it. That's the matrix completed. So now we have complete control over the mid information and complete control over the side information. Let's have a listen to how that sounds. Okay, I hope you found this tutorial useful. I know that I used to see the matrix in my plugin list and didn't quite know what to do with it. So hopefully now you'll be able to use it, or at least have it there and added to your arsenal of tricks. If you want to check out the S1 imaging tools from Waves, go to their website at www.waves.com and search for S1. You can download the demo there. You can also buy it from their site too. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in another episode.